Welcome everybody once again to another episode of Wiki Weekends. We are here. I am Lucas Holland, and then off screen you will hear the luxurious voice of one Karl Smallwood.
Oh, the dulcet tones of Mr. Karl Smallwood, yes.
As always, we are bringing a wiki entry to discuss and just generally, run through and talk about.
And riff on, yes.
Just try to have a fun discussion for you all. And today, Karl, I wanted to talk about some Pikmin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know where this was going. I have never played Pikmin.
Oh, you've never played Pikmin?
Never played Pikmin.
Pikmin 4 is due to come out the month that we are recording, which is July 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And Karl, there is actually a relatively beefy demo on the Nintendo Switch eStore for Pikmin 4, so I would recommend you go check that out. And that demo is apparently like a good couple of hours, and your progress will continue over to the main game if you wanted to buy it. But
that's a good demo.
Yeah, it's one of those that it is a Nintendo first party IP and series of games, but it definitely does not have that kind of same mainstream kind of success that a lot of the Marios, the Luigis, the Yoshi, the DK, Link, Zelda, all those games have found.
It doesn't enjoy the same cultural cachet as those series, but it does have a dedicated fan base.
Yeah, I think it falls more under that category of like the kind of B-list Nintendo titles, and I'm glad that it's still getting the games, but it kind of that category like Star Fox and F-Zero and Metroid, where there is that dedicated fan base, and the games do okay, but they don't get any categorically high sales or anything.
Yeah, Pikmin got a game. Star Fox ain't getting another fucking game, mate. There ain't nothing. The only thing deader than Star Fox is F-Zero.
Unfortunately. And maybe it would have helped Star Fox if they didn't release Star Fox 64 just over and over again with different skins on it. It's like every time they released a new Star Fox game, it was ostensibly just Star Fox 64 / Lilac Wing. What was it called over here for us? Our American viewers don't know that. I still call it the Star Fox series, and it has become Star Fox over here, but it started out as Star Wing, and then I think it was Lilac Wars for the 64 version, and then slowly became Star Fox after that with, Star Fox Adventure might have been the first Star Fox game we got in Europe that was called Star Fox.
I still call it Star Wing, because I had the original SNES game that was called Star Wing, so it's in my head and my heart. It will forever be Star Wing.
But we're not here to talk about Star Wing or Star Fox.
We're here to talk about Pikmin.
And specifically, I would want to talk about the Pikmin themselves. So we have the article here about the Pikmin family. So that is the species family of what Pikmin themselves are.
Okay, so my basic understanding of Pikmin is you are Captain Olimar.
So Olimar is from the first game, and then I think has appearances in the second game.
And the Pikmin are the native denizens of I don't know if the planet has a name, but the native denizens of a planet you crash land on, and they help you solve various puzzles because they want to help you.
PNF 404, which I think jokingly might be Planet Not Found 404. Similar to the web page not found or whatever, but it is ostensibly Earth, and they do find fucking Duracell batteries and stuff
Not
on
in the
planet.
remake.
So
I've seen that. The remake, they removed all the licensed stuff because they don't have the license for the Duracell batteries anymore.
Of course, yeah. But at one point, you could find Duracell batteries in Pikmin games. So it is kind of the idea is that something happened to planet Earth, and it changed, but there's still life on Earth, but not life that we know, and there's never humans or anything seen, and
just little Pikmins.
All of the player characters, like for example Olimar, they are all really, really small. So the Pikmin and Olimar are in little gardens.
I know they're 2 inches tall out there.
They become vast environments where oh my god, we've got to get this giant structure over to the spaceship, and it's a lemon.
Yeah. Mostly I'm aware of it, like, via just existing in the spheres of gaming. Like, I'm aware of, like I said, they're little tiny creatures that help you, but they have very distinct purposes and functions. And that's where the puzzle elements come in of, like, I guess what... I don't know the exact function, but one Pikmin, for example, is quite strong, one Pikmin's light, one Pikmin can be thrown. But obviously we're going to cover that now. But that's my basic understanding of what Pikmin are.
I presume your the most you have an understanding probably comes from Smash Bros.
Yeah, where Olimar is a character. And it's just, he has Pikmin, and the Pikmin have different effects, and he cares not for the safety of an individual Pikmin.
They do not.
He will gladly throw a Pikmin to its death. It would, if it means securing an extra 3% on Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and that's always the kind of upsetting thing about Pikmin. Is Pikmin 1 is that Captain Olimar gets stranded on the planet and eventually finds these sentient creatures known as Pikmin that sacrifice their lives to help Olimar recreate his ship and get home safe. Like, the moment he gets back to his home planet, his boss is like, oh, what do you mean? You found valuable things on that planet? And just sends, like, Olimar and Louis back to go profiteer off the Pikmin.
So it's actually kind of dark when you think about it, isn't it? Of, like, they essentially discover and then monetize a slave race.
And they're not slaves, to clarify. They are willing victims for some reason. But
well, it's like that bit in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, isn't it? I don't use the term slaves. Okay, prisoners with jobs.
Yeah, it's like, it's Nintendo-fied to be cutesy and fun, but yeah, they abuse the fact that Pikmin are willing to literally waste their lives in order to help you, to go then profiteer off them.
So I have seen many a gif of Olimar throwing Pikmin into, like, the mouth of a giant slug monster.
Absolute reckless abandon.
So we all played Lemmings. Let's not lie, we all did it.
Mm-hmm.
We all just like, I'm going to intentionally build a path where the Lemmings throw themselves. Oh God, no!
The Lemmings, the aim of the game was to get them off the right part of the cliff, wasn't it?
It was, but there was also, like, a lot of dangers that you could, if you were being a dick, intentionally sacrifice Lemmings.
So yeah, if people don't know what Pikmin essentially is as a game, is, as we mentioned, you're a captain, might not be Olimar, that changes every game, that essentially is in charge of these Pikmin that go and help you solve puzzles, battle creatures in the environment, bring items of need back to the ship, and essentially it is a really cutesy, charming, like,
slave
real-time
simulator.
Well, it's a real-time strategy game, right?
Real-time slave simulator, yeah.
It's the idea was that Miyamoto looked at all these real-time strategy games and was like, you don't really get a sense of feeling because you're normally just a, sentient camera that sits above the battlefield and doesn't get involved. So they brought the camera down to the player level and created a player character to be in control in real time rather than like just this, vague godlike person that's just commanding from above.
What about if you felt like it was your boot heel on the throats of these, like, creatures that you're sacrificing for the greater good? Just think, like, you can try and, like, cutesy up all you want. It's like, yeah, you felt like, you need to be closer to the action as you, like... So RTS games, like, you're sending armies to their death. Mm-hmm. Essentially, you are, the commander of an army. And it's
and you are willing to sacrifice all of those units for victory.
Yeah, and it's like... And his thought was, well, what about if you were closer to that? So, like, So you could, like, see...
Every single time you made a wrong move, they screamed out in pain and had little cute ghosts, like, fly up the screen. It's like, no!
But it's basically that XKCD comic where he says, I made a mod for first-person shooters that every time you kill someone, it just tells you a fact about their life. Like, you'll shoot a guy and it's like, oh, yeah. He's like, he's got 2 kids at home. His wife, him and his wife were on the rocks and they thought they could make it work.
It's what they attempted to do in Last of Us 2, isn't it? Where every time you shot somebody's leg off, they'd be like, no, not Steve! Oh,
here's the thing, though. What do you feel worse about? Killing a Pikmin by accident or shotgunning someone in half in Last of Us 2?
Oh, killing a Pikmin by accident. Yeah. There's there's the sounds of the Pikmin drown, like wah, 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 wah.
What's the worst you've ever felt in a video game? Because I think for me, I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 briefly. I didn't play it much, but I was playing it a little bit. I was driving around in my car, and I didn't realise there were dogs in that game. And a dog ran in front of my car, got hit, but then it made the dog noise. The sad dog noise. And it I hit it, and it just fucking pinwheeled over my bonnet, and I felt so bad I turned the game off. Because I didn't realise dogs were in that game.
And, that does remind me, I've mentioned before, I've played Last of Us Part 2, and I played the entire game avoiding every single dog to the point where there were times where I would sit in a patch of grass for 5-10 minutes waiting for that dog to go into a place where I could just sneak past it rather than hurt any of them. And then the game has a part where it forces you to kill a dog, and I was like, no, I felt so bad and so angry
at the
because
game,
of all this effort I'd put in to canonically not be a dog killer, and the game is like, no, fuck you.
And then it does that classic video game thing of like, oh my god, you killed the dog, you're a monster. It's like, no, you killed it.
I actively never killed a dog. You forced me to do this.
If I'd have had control of the character in this moment, I'd have not killed that dog.
One of the worst feelings I ever had was when I accidentally sent about maybe, because you can control up to 100 Pikmin at once, and I sent maybe 75 of them as lambs to the slaughter in a boss fight. Just turned the game off. I felt so bad just watching them all scream and die simultaneously to this boss that just rolled over them. I was like, nah, just turned it off.
It's similar to that when you play Abe's Odyssey. Like, as a kid, it's funny because oh look, you can fart and they fall off the edge. But I've tried replaying Abe's Odyssey as an adult, and going back through and just I felt so bad for some of those Mudokons.
Yeah,
especially the bit where once you escape from Rupture Farms or Rapture Farms, I think it's called. I forget the full name, but when you escape from there, if you don't do any of the bonus levels, there's 50 hidden Mudokons that you have to find. You just we just execute. They have a sign saying if one escapes, we'll execute every Mudokon on the floor. And if once you get past the first mission, it just says, oh yeah, casualties 55. Wait, what? I just killed 55 by escaping because I didn't complete all the puzzles. I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be responsible for killing 50 of these things.
But yeah, we'll get on to what we are sacrificing in Pikmin, Carl, and that is
just all the Pikmin.
These tiny little Pikmin, and all of their variants. But Pikmin are 2.9 centimeters / 1.14 inches tall from foot to tip. And I guess that just means maybe the stock standard 3 Pikmin, because then they start to vary in weight and size. They are able to carry about 20 times their weight, just as ants do. The average Pikmin can be thrown at a maximum height of 7.5 centimeters. Yellow Pikmin can be thrown at a height of 11.5 centimeters. The Pikmin that Olimar encounters in Pikmin 2 appear to him when he revisits PNF 404. Captain Olimar was noted in the original Pikmin to wonder, a bit uneasily, why the Pikmin do not attack him, and speculated they might see him as a parental figure, so then decided to send them all to their deaths.
So that's the thing, the more they try and explain it, the worse it sounds. Because they could have very easily just made it so that when you kill, quote unquote, I'm doing big air quotes here when I say kill, the Pikmin disappears and then it comes back.
No, but they have to scream, and you see their ghosts in real time float
because that's
away.
the thing, is that their design has the little flower or leaf on their head, right? And you pick them up. That's what they call Pikmin, right?
Yeah,
you
so
pull
they
them from the
start
ground.
out as little stems with bulbs on the top, and you pull them out of the ground. And then as they grow over time and gather more nectar,
they get a little flower.
The flower then blooms, and they become fully bloomed Pikmin.
They could have very easily put a gameplay system in where when a Pikmin, again, quote unquote, dies, it goes back into the ground, and then you got to pick it back up again.
Yeah.
But no, they made the decision that the Pikmin dies. That when it dies, it fucking dies and screams in agony the entire time. That's a baller decision.
It is.
For a game that's rated E for everyone.
There's times as well where they have a little spaceship and you have a spaceship, and it's I think the spaceship is called the Onion, and you kind of stockpile over days and days more and more Pikmin as you go find them in the wild and, you know, reproduce them and stuff. And there are times where, like, it'll be like, oh yeah, day 5 of Olimar's adventure. You started with 489 Pikmin. You ended the day with 111. And you're like, no! It's like, it went so wrong.
That reminds me of, like, that amazing shot in, I think it's like Attack of the Clones, where you just see, like, Anakin or Obi-Wan step off, like, a clone trooper transport, and the second their foot hits the ground, it gets hit by a missile. And, like, Obi-Wan...
They don't even look back.
They don't even turn around. He doesn't even turn around to see if anyone's okay. He doesn't give a shit.
In that previous scene, have like, a discussion with them all, and they have, like, names, and Obi-Wan knows them, and then
that's
it's
what
just
makes,
like, nope.
Every time you bring up, like, the stat, like, oh, that Clone Troopers TV show is really good, because it humanized a lot of these concepts. No, that makes it worse, because then you go watch the canon movies, you'll just, like I said, like, Obi-Wan steps off a ship that blows up, and he doesn't even turn around to see if anyone's okay, because he doesn't care. And obviously the real reason he didn't is because he was on a sound stage.
They were just CGI characters that you couldn't see or
he couldn't see, yeah. But when you watch it in the movie, the character doesn't respond to 50 people being blown up. It's like, who gives a shit? There's a million of them.
He learnt the stellar ways of Captain Olimar.
You did, yeah.
Just to give zero fucks.
But do we have the equivalent? Is there, like, a boss Pikmin? Like, Joe, like that one gif you see of the clone trooper just absolutely fucking just annihilating robots from the Clone Wars TV show? Do we have, like, a boss-ass Pikmin?
There isn't, but it's funny that you say, like, the idea of a boss Pikmin, because an idea that is commonly held by fans is that Olimar has a helmet with an antenna that resembles the stem on a Pikmin's head, and therefore the Pikmin see them as one of their own or some kind of, like, alpha Pikmin. So Olimar or the other captains in the later games, like, the fan theory is that they are seen as, like, the alpha Pikmin, the boss Pikmin.
So, or maybe it's similar to, like, you know, a baby duck. Do you like baby ducks when, like, you know, they're first born will follow whatever they first see, they imprint, because they're genetically predisposed to just follow whatever they see first, because that's their mother. So essentially what you're doing is you're just kidnapping Pikmin babies.
However, this theory is easily disproven because antenna beetles can attract Pikmin by emitting sound with certain frequency using their wings. So it must just mean that, like, A, the Pikmin felt sorry for Olimar, and B, he's got, like, the whistle that can, you know, help wrangle them all back in.
Maybe it's just that Pikmin are idiots.
It could be.
They could just be idiots.
They could be.
We don't know.
I'm going to go through now the actual individual species of Pikmin, because people don't know the first game started out with red, yellow, and blue Pikmin, and then the games slowly introduced more and more different variations of Pikmin over time.
The fact that a puzzle game started with 3 puzzle elements is kind of wild. Basic puzzle, you'd expect it to be like, you know, start with 3 and then introduce more as the game goes on.
But I guess because it was, you know, a lot of the game is the element of, like, strategically commanding people around and, like, getting your units to attack enemies correctly and go and find things in the environment with your time limit that you have each day. The 3 different types of units is kind of just the cherry on top of the cake to add a little bit of complexity to the stages. Because I think there's already quite a lot of complexity, and people don't maybe remember, or maybe people haven't played the first one. Like, the first game, you have a time limit every single day, and you
Dead
have
Rising style
4, I think, main levels to get through and find enough like ship parts to be able to repair your ship and get back home. But the 30, I think it was 30 days that you had to complete the game. So if you're stuck wandering around and not being efficient every day, then you're actively losing the game. And you can end that game with, like, the bad ending of Olimar never made it back home.
And he's got to live on a planet where he's now the god. Well, that's the good ending for me.
I think it is something along the lines of he has food for 30 days.
This game's really dark. What the hell? I guess the bad end, like, it fades to black, and what you don't see is him just, like, tucking into, like, you know, some, like, Pikmin and chips.
Oh, God. So we start off with the very first Pikmin that you were introduced to in the game, the red Pikmin. And their unique physical feature is their thorn-like noses. These Pikmin are fireproof and have 1.5 times the attack power of the average Pikmin. Also take down dirt walls faster than the other Pikmin in Pikmin 3.
I just love the idea that he swings Pikmin by the head.
Yeah.
It's so funny that he just swings them around.
And I also love the fact that they attack with their head. So when you throw like 30 Pikmin on top of an enemy, they're all just like head banging into the enemy, like, ugh! And then we've got yellow Pikmin, which have large ears, and they are lighter than most Pikmin, so they can be thrown further and higher, and were discovered in Pikmin 2 to be immune to electricity. They also have the unique trait of being able to carry and throw bomb rocks. But then in Pikmin 3, all Pikmin can carry bomb rocks. I guess just the quality of life feature.
Yeah.
But they can dig faster than other Pikmin in Pikmin 3.
Is there just a shit Pikmin that can't do anything right?
There isn't a shit Pikmin, but the next one, the blue Pikmin, is what Nintendo famously seemed to pick on in the marketing.
Okay.
Every time there's marketing for Pikmin, if you notice, if there are Pikmin like suffering or being eaten or dying in any way, it's always the blue Pikmin.
The loser Pikmin.
They're the loser Pikmin. And it's like just people are like, what have Nintendo got against the blue Pikmin?
Is that like that legendary Mortal Kombat 11 trailer? Where like for that game coming out, it's like, oh yeah, here's Scorpion, here's Sub-Zero. For the Kotal Khan reveal trailer, they had Kotal Khan getting beaten up in his own reveal trailer. Like he gets fatality'd in his own reveal trailer. And like everyone's like, why do they hate Kotal Khan?
The blue Pikmin have what appear to be mouths but are actually gills. These Pikmin, unlike the others, are amphibious and can survive in water, and are also resistant to water-based attacks. If thrown into the water or standing idle, they will try to save any nearby drowning Pikmin by throwing them sometimes back on land, sometimes back into the water by accident.
Further into the water.
And those kind of interactions I love, where you have like a bunch of AI minions that are doing their best to help out, but then just fuck things up further.
It's like when you play like Dead Rising, and it's like you give like all of your survivors like a shotgun each, and the first one zombie walks around the corner, and just like all 8 survivors just shotgun in like a circle and kill each other.
That's why I always ended up just giving them bladed weapons instead.
I'll never forget when I gave one of my survivors a shotgun, and I walked forward, and I swear on my life this is how it went down. I walked forward, and no sooner did I turn my back, did that shotgun blast go into the back of my head.
I do dislike this though, because in Pikmin 3, that feature wasn't anymore. Because like the Pikmin can just get out on their own. The drowning Pikmin just like slowly swim towards the surface again. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm picturing now? Do you remember where we played through like on your channel, like Mario Galaxy or whatever it was, and you had the chucker?
Oh yeah.
And you talk to the chucker and they go, "Hello Mario, I'm a chucker." Just
in like, Mario Sunshine, that one chucker stage.
And they just throw Mario like 80 feet through the air.
Chucksters the fucksters, they just murder you constantly.
Just absolutely no care for what direction you're going. Just like, oh, hello, Mario. Just 1 second later.
Introduced in Pikmin 2, we have the purple Pikmin and the white Pikmin. And they are essentially the heavy and light Pikmin. So the purple Pikmin are just like the big, fat, bulky,
chunky boys,
the heavies.
The absolute units.
And they have little wiry hairs growing out of their head. And they are 30 times more powerful than the average Pikmin in battle. And have the carrying strength of 10 Pikmin, but they move slow. That sounds like a good payoff to me.
But to keep in mind as well that like 10 times the lifting power of a Pikmin who can lift 30 times its body weight, which means that the purple Pikmin can lift 300 times its body weight.
I think you said 20 times, but yeah, still like 200 times its own body weight. It's like, Jesus Christ. And they are also just 30 times more powerful in battle as well. But this is just a little stumpy-armed purple little Pikmin with just complete deadness in its eyes, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to bench 200 times my body weight.
So yeah, just throw me at him. Send me in, coach.
And then the white Pikmin are just like the little small demon Pikmin, because they have, just instead of regular eyes, they've just got completely red eyes, which allows them to have keen sight and dig up buried treasure. They are resistant to poison attacks, and seem to be poisonous themselves. Enemies are damaged and sometimes fatally when they ingest the white Pikmin. So if you really want to play that evil Olimar route, you can just breed a bunch of white Pikmin and then just start sending them to the death to get eaten, poisoned.
So at what point is like Olimar going in and putting like the white handprint on the top of these Pikmin like a fucking Urukai or something? Do you like Saruman's like breeding the Urukai and putting like the handprint on and just sending them to battle?
Just as he pulls them out, he just puts like the little stripe of war paint on the face.
Yeah. It's like, into battle you go, my friend.
And you know he doesn't let them grow to full adult. He sends them in as children.
Of course, yeah.
It would be a waste of nectar to let them live longer. Moving on to Pikmin 3. Where they introduced rock Pikmin and winged Pikmin.
I know the winged ones are like the ones that you use in Smash for your recovery, right? Like pink ones, are they?
The cute little pink ones, and then once again, even in Smash Bros, there's a good reason to kill your own Pikmin because
you like to without Pikmin.
Recovery move to get you back on stage is that 3 little pink winged Pikmin like grab you and start pulling you back up stage. But if you throw your Pikmin away before that, you weigh less without the Pikmin, so they can carry you further.
But you are weighed down by the sin of killing 3 Pikmin.
But the winged Pikmin aren't, which is the important thing.
Yeah.
I don't think anything weighs on Almar's brain anymore.
I've seen into his eyes. There's nothing in there. The only thing he hungers for is battle.
So as you can imagine, the rock Pikmin are a species of this tough, sturdy Pikmin that are super strong and not really easily killed. However, instead of latching onto enemies and headbanging, they run into them and bounce off instead.
See, what you should say is though, they're still easily killed because they are Pikmin.
Well, it does say they are immune to blunt force, such as being crushed or stabbed. So that's got to be a tough Pikmin to chew through if you're an enemy. Mm-hmm. And yeah, then the wing Pikmins are cute little pink ones that have lavender flowers on their head. Mm-hmm. And they have giant blue eyes instead of the demon red.
They burn just as easy though, don't worry.
They do. So they can attack airborne or tall creatures with ease, and then they can take quicker, shorter routes while carrying spoils by carrying them in the air instead. So they just, instead of having to walk around complicated paths to get things back to the ship, they just fly things straight over. Oh god.
What about Pikmin 4 though? It's either there's no new Pikmin introduced or 100 new Pikmin introduced.
So the only thing I've seen so far is it looks like there's icy rock Pikmin.
Oh yes.
But then they also introduced that there's a dog companion. So the dog companion, for example, seems to let the Pikmin ride on top, and the dog can swim through water, which means that the Pikmin that can't go through water can jump on the back of the dog and get through the water that way and stuff. It seems like that's kind of the way that they're innovating the series this time.
But the dog eats the Pikmin, so is it going to be you have to do...
I don't think the dog eats the Pikmin.
No, but I think if it does, you have to do the gaming equivalent of that puzzle of you've got a fox, a chicken, and a bag of corn.
Yeah.
Where you want to get them across a river. It's you've got a dog, a white Pikmin, and a blue Pikmin. How do you get them across the river?
Well, you can get the white Pikmin across, but you have to sacrifice the blue Pikmin and just feed it to the dog as payment.
Yeah.
And just last thing, I guess, to pick up on here, just as I scroll down, is just the subtitle of Pikmin Extinction.
Pikmin. Oh, go on, tell me about Pikmin Extinction.
So Pikmin Extinction occurs when every single Pikmin, including those planted in the ground and stored in the onions, is lost. The day ends immediately, and onions each produce a single seed at the beginning of the following day. As a result, it's possible for Pikmin to never be extinct as long as their own onion survives. But that does mean
it's theoretically possible to genocide every Pikmin in this game.
You can basically just keep losing, and if you are bad enough at the game will just cycle you through, and you basically, when you've got one Pikmin each, you're basically in game over mode at that point.
Yeah. At that point, it's just you sat at the edge watching the meteor come in. Mm-hmm. But at least you've got 3 Pikmin there to die with. At least you know you're not dying alone.
And it says, in Pikmin, the following is Olimar's journal entry on the first day that extinction occurs. So, in Pikmin 1, the Pikmin have all perished because of my own carelessness. I am an utter disgrace as a leader. How can I continue to collect parts without them? Still, the onion joins me in low orbit, as if this Pikmin extinction had never happened. I shan't sleep tonight.
Well, at least he feels bad about it.
At least he does.
I want you to be in the second one of like, lol, did it again.
In Pikmin 2, purple and white Pikmin cannot produce seeds as neither colours have onions.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually just genocide those ones. And then in Pikmin 3, rather than they immediately ending, an extinction simply prompts a cutscene to play off the Master Onion expelling another seed of whichever type of Pikmin which was lost, giving the captains the rest of the day to grow more Pikmin and continue their mission the following day.
Okay, so it's a bit more forgiving.
A little bit, yeah. In the mission mode for the game, Pikmin extinction results in a cutscene where a mass amount of Pikmin ghosts surround your player, who is now looking sad, and the text Pikmin extinction is shown, ending the mission.
Is this like Metal Gear Solid 3, where you got like walk down the Sorrow River, and every like person you've killed just gives you shit for it? They're just like, you have these little Pikmin, like, it's your fault.
You've got to look every single Pikmin that you killed in the eye, as they're just like, missions over, mate.
The thing is, though, it will never, ever be as like harsh as in the very first Worms game. And I don't know why they never brought this level back, but they had a level that was set in hell. And like, if you put, when you push like worms into the water, they just drown. If you push worms into the fire, they just go. Tss. That was it. Where's that bit in Pikmin?
It's one of those of over time to try and I guess make it more mainstream and popular. They have made the games a little bit more forgiving. And yeah, the first Pikmin, it's, you know, the controls were kind of like difficult to grasp with, and there was a lot of problems where AI would kind of get stuck on corners and you'd lose troops and stuff. And
again, I played Dead Rising.
30-day time limit to complete the game. It's like, it was pretty brutal.
It just sounds like Dead Rising for kids.
I don't think we're going to be able to top just Pikmin Extinction.
No, but
today, I think that's as far as we can take it.
I am gutted though we never got a Pikmin Wonderful 101 crossover.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, where's like Wonder Red coming in?
Because two super popular gaming IPs coming together, Carl.
Yeah. Just put a skin on it. You could put a Wonderful 101 skin on Pikmin. Easy.
Or the other way around.
Yeah, all the way around, yeah.
Is one of the things, because obviously Breath of the Wild had DLC where it's like, oh look, Xenoblade 2's just come out or whatever, or Xenoblade X, I can't remember which one it was. And we've dropped like an outfit for Link. There's a Xenoblade outfit. Go grab it. And I was like, what they should do is just put a Pikmin armor in the game, and then
so like, you bomb Pikmin.
The way that you do it is like the armor makes it so that Link can start forming other like bokoblins to follow him as like the Pikmin leader, and they all just become little Pikmin following Link.
No, what you do in Breath of the Wild is you just turn your bombs into Pikmin. That's all you do.
I just want a Tears of the Kingdom armor update of like, yeah, here's the Copton Olimar outfit. You can just get enemies to start following you around as little Pikmin minions.
No, or an Abe's Odyssey. Do that. I mentioned that earlier. Give me Abe's Odyssey where it's just like Abe, like just throwing Mudokons at Sligs. Let's get it.
Thank you everyone for joining, and I hope everyone has enjoyed learning a little bit about Pikmin. And
I did.
Carl, go check out that Pikmin 4 demo, because I think you would like it. Really vibe with Pikmin.
I will certainly give it a gander.
Check out just Pikmin Murder Simulator number 4, everyone.
Yeah. And if you feel like giving something else a gander, why not click on the other videos on this channel?
Hell yeah.
We talk about a bunch of fun stuff.
Thank you everyone for watching.